Meta daimon. In The Secret of the Golden Flower, it is said, essence and life cannot be seen. It is contained in the light of heaven. The light of heaven cannot be seen. It is contained in the two eyes. What does this mean? That which sees cannot be seen. This is how the planetary body is constructed, with the eyes naturally looking outward, away from the self. Light here refers to attention. And attention is something that comes from above. The coming into being of attention within is the result of an opening, and attention enters from beyond. Attention is contained in the eyes. You don't have attention for something until you're watching it. And if you aren't watching it, you have no attention. Before attention, there is nothing. There's sleep. There's quite a lot to this idea of watchfulness and attention. First, it comes very early in the teaching. It comes early in the way because it's one of the most important qualities that one needs to develop in this kind of work. Variations of the word watch, watchful, watchfulness occur numerous times in the Bible and always in reference to a special quality of attention or attention that originates from a higher source. For instance, Revelations 3:2, it says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. Matthew 24:40, and he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could ye not watch me 1 hour? That's from the very famous scene of Garden of Gethsemane. If you've seen the movie, um, the Mel Gibson movie, Passion of the Christ, it starts out with that scene of Garden of Gethsemane. You go back and reread it. It with the perspective of the idea of meditation, meaning an effort of watchfulness, then it's clear that what's happening in here is that they're meditating. Jesus is, you know, aware that he's going to get arrested soon by the Romans. You know, everyone's aware that the shit is about to come down. So he goes to the Garden of Gethsemane and he says, you know, I'm gonna pray here and you guys go over and pray over there. That's how the story's always told. Go pray over there. And so people interpret the story as meaning the way they understand prayer in the sense of church Christianity, that it means, you know, reciting certain words and holding your hands like this and such what. And the idea of meditation or a deeper kind of watchfulness is mostly lost in church Christianity, even though you go back and you read the King James Version of the Bible, it says, "What you could not watch with me 1 hour," because he goes back to, you know, he sends them off. He says, "You guys go be watchful, or go pray over there, be watchful, and I'm gonna pray here." And then he, you know, um, so he goes and he prays there. But then when he goes and he checks in on them, he finds that they've fallen asleep. So if you work with meditation, you know that this is one of the challenges that people have with meditation early on is falling asleep. Not to mention, it also can refer to the state of relative sleep that we're in most of the time, that humanity is in for most of the time, a state of relative sleep, which I've talked about a lot on this podcast. And that a state of watchfulness refers to a state of wakefulness in contrast to that sleep. Those are the rare moments of watchfulness that happen accidentally because of shocks, or that can happen intentionally as a result of efforts, internal efforts associated with the practice of meditation. And another reference from the Bible, Daniel 4:13, I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an holy one came down from heaven. So the occult community has made quite a lot of the references to the watchers that occur in the Bible and the apocryphal parts of biblical material. And this is often taken to mean, um, perhaps like archangels or demons. A lot of people really like to say the watchers are demons. But if we take this sense of watchfulness, um, which in these other, other areas that I've just mentioned, Revelations, and the Gospels, especially the Gospels, you see this other sense that the word watchfulness is used to indicate the ability to see reality accurately. This idea of watcher coming down from heaven takes on an entirely new meaning. I saw the visions in of my head, the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. This could mean that the higher perspective of a watcher, of a part of myself that is able to see reality clearly, came down within me. And again, we find these references to the idea of attention seems to descend from a higher source within us when we go through this process. Other references to watchfulness can be found in the Philokalia, and Saint Hesychios' piece of of monastic writing called On Watchfulness and Holiness, where he states, watchfulness is a spiritual method which, if sedulously practiced over a long period, and long period, I think that also connects back with in Secret of Golden Flower, they refer to that as the 100 days. If sedulously practiced over a long period, completely frees us, with God's help, from impassioned thoughts, impassioned words, and evil actions. In other words, mechanical thoughts, reactive words, reactive negative actions. Because of its nature, watchfulness is to be bought only at a great price. But once established in us, it guides us to a true and holy way of life. It teaches us how to activate the three aspects of our souls correctly and how to keep a firm guard over the senses. So I think that the three aspects of our souls correctly um, probably refers to a creation of higher bodies, that astral body, um, solar body, causal body, etc., or emotional body, intellectual body, causal body. It mentions three aspects of our souls. So he doesn't say our soul, singular, our souls correctly, and how to keep a firm guard over the senses. Watchfulness is the first and most important thing in this kind of work. It's another way of saying that attention is the first and most important thing in this kind of work. It is a way of activating something new in us that can maintain a consistency in our life that will help us to move beyond the pull of the lower passions, beyond the pull of mechanical actions and of reactiveness. St. Hesychios also makes it clear that watchfulness must be practiced over a long period of time, and then it results in freedom. And once established, it acts as a guide and helps in activating aspects of the souls. Again, he refers to the souls in the plural. And you probably haven't heard many modern day Christians talk about one person having multiple souls. And this likely goes back to the idea, which we encounter again and again in the text of Secret of the Golden Flower, of bodies, and the idea of three bodies. There being, in addition to the physical, also an emotional, intellectual, and causal body. For now, it is important to understand that all these seemingly miraculous things begin with the work of watchfulness. So, go against the grain, stay watchful, and thus shall you keep the dark fires burning.